Hey, Rainy Joe here, and welcome back to Art Pop April, the series where I'm listening to different art pop albums throughout the month of April. Today, we are on our 7th video, and we are checking out Björk's 2001 album, Vespertine. Now, I have never listened to a full Björk album before. I don't even know if I can name a single Björk track, personally. However, this has been a severe blind spot for me, considering Björk is considered one of the greatest musicians of the 21st century, and is a musician I've always wanted to check out, I just never got around to. So, with Art Pop April, tons of suggestions for this album. Why not go ahead and check out Vespertine after all this time? At 55 minutes and 39 seconds with 12 tracks, it is quite a lengthy album. Not breaking that 1 hour point, but it is a little bit longer than your average. So let's just jump into it with Hidden Place, which is one of the highest streamed songs on here with 11.7 million streams. Kicking it off, let's go. Not too sure what to expect. I know she's a little bit more experimental and out there. Already a little glitchy in its production. I am familiar with her vocals though. Very unique and Icelandic. I like this kind of glitchy, disturbed sound. I love the way this is developing. Very elevated. Has a nice ethereal sound to it. Maybe slightly suggestive lyrics there with that hidden place. It's kind of giving me Portishead kind of vibes overall. Very trip hop sound. Oh, very suggestive. The lyrics seem. I love the very glitchy production on this one. And those beautiful angelic backup vocals. Oh man, went from a very dark and brooding sound to a very kind of danceable, upbeat, kind of funky sound. Really beautiful, just flourishing instrumental. Beautiful opening track. Really great arrangements all around. Just very layered. And some just beautiful textures. Gotta say, closing that one out, a great intro. Really just shows off the, I think, direction this LP is gonna go into. But recently we've been listening to, the art pop albums we've been hearing. We got Hounds of Love from Kate Bush, which was again very Baroque pop inspired. Very beautiful arrangements on that one, very layered. And also Wise Blood with Titanic Rising, and also Julia Holter's Have You in My Wilderness. Those LPs all have beautiful, strong arrangements on them that are very textured and feel heavenly, very Baroque pop inspired. Whereas this one similarly has that kind of same tone, but leans into those glitchy elements that I feel like Hounds of Love just teased, which I'm excited for because glitch pop is a very unique area of art pop. Carrying on though, we've got Cocoon. Very sexual so far too. Right with these lyrics kicking off, you can see it. Picking up on the themes pretty quickly. Very well produced. Very sharp. That's exactly what I mean. Very sexually induced. Very vulnerable in her vocals. I like that. I like the subtlety of this instrumental too. There's those clicks and those pops. Oh wow. Kind of ambient as well with those almost like shimmery bells. I love that you can hear the hisses in her voice. Very like soft whisper. This is a beautiful track. Very nurturing. I just love how subtle it is. Very gentle, warm. The lyrics are not so subtle. That's for sure. Oh, that restraint in the instrumental there. Train of pearls. Again, very suggestive. I think we know what that pearls are. I love this track. Beautiful. And I don't know how she does it, but she makes the very sexual acts here just sounds so vulnerable and meaningful. Very pretty. There's a nice sense of nurturing within it. Definitely more pure than a lot of artists would approach it. Beautiful track. Next we're going right into It's Not Up to You. I find the production's kind of cold at times, but sometimes the sound is so ethereal and so warm. The way it surrounds the listener. And some strings are creeping in. Six glasses. I believe now they're saying 8 glasses. Oh, we're dialing it back. Oh. Well, they're just diving right into this lush chorus. I like how mellow this LP has been at times. Like this one has a nice laid back backbone to it. Certainly changing up the arrangement quite a bit though throughout. Ooh. I like that kind of rustic instrumental in there. Oh, and those harps that just shimmer there. Beautiful. Kind of mimicking that sparkling she's speaking of here. Speaking on her, kind of embracing her sexuality. The power of what she has. Oh, I love the way she really pulls back before she dives right into this explosive chorus and layering those vocals. Oh, and we're really ascending here. Oh, that choir really, it's like a child choir. Really sending me back to elementary here. Really embracing, I think, her femininity on this track here, and the power she holds over her own body. A strong theme for 2001. And let's flow right into the next track here. Undo. Her vocals also remind me of am I forgetting his name? Elliott Smith? I think it's the very hushed delivery that she does. Obviously a very different direction she would take with it though. The very glitchy, you know, repeating of instrumentals creates a very hypnotic listen. And then her dreamlike vocals too kind of furthers that hypnotic state, I think. Certainly works for the length of the tracks too. Oh. Not as instantly gratifying as some of the other tracks. But I do love the subtle building of it. It certainly doesn't hit you as hard with the overly complex instrumentals. It just kind of builds gradually. There's like some sort of restraint in her voice there, almost like a hesitation. Ooh. Getting really angelic here. Those powerful choir in the background there. I did not expect this. It's like crushing out the rest of the instrumental. Even her vocals being overthrown here. So heavenly. Perhaps the most heavenly art pop album this month. I really feel like we are like reaching the clouds with this one. And then like a gradual finish here. Oh, it's getting mutilated. I love the way she plays with the production on this album too. It's so back and forth between these kind of low quality, kind of grating, to at times sounding just super clean, super polished. Alright. I really loved the back half of that one. Switched things around for me. I didn't know if I was liking that one as much, but really pulled through. Next we're going into Pagan Poetry. Most of these tracks averaging about 5 minutes, which is interesting. Not a conventional length. Again, very sexually coded lyrics here. Really strong synth work on this one. That piano, the synth piano, it sounds like. Oh, really sharp vocal there. Ear piercing. Such a shimmery sound up against these kind of contrasting heavy synths. It's like a darkness brooding underneath these beautiful passages. Such a growl in her vocal there. It's a very throaty, not something I would expect from her. Look, stripping it back here, she pleads. Ooh. Hard to decipher what this means. Is this love a true enough purity, or is there a darkness underneath it? Just keeping this man a secret. Maybe there's a taboo sense to it. I love this outro. So gentle. I think there's a purity to this love. But again, I'm not too sure. I'm not gonna look up the interpretations until after the fact. But I like that one. It was really just, again, very beautiful, very pure. There was certainly a darkness, I feel like, in certain elements, like that kind of harder, heavier synth that was pulsating. But let's go into Frosty, which is only 1 minute and 40 seconds long. I think this will be an instrumental only, I would gather. Reminds me of Five Nights at Freddy's. That's how ahead of time this album was. Right in the midpoint of the album too. Kind of serves as a little instrumental bridge. And its simplicity is nice, considering how enveloping the instrumentals have been so far. It's very pretty. I don't know if it's like a xylophone or something being used in this one. But the arrangements on this album in general, like I can't even decipher some of these instruments. They're just very beautiful. Also, I had no idea there was a swan in this cover art until now. Never noticed that. Going right into Aurora here. Is that sounds like someone stepping in snow. Literally like snow crunching. If that's the case, very unconventional. Treading the glacier head, I would assume that is what is being used here, is the sound of somebody stepping in snow. But boy, does it just blend right into the instrumental. Oh, it's still there. There's a nice desolate nighttime sound to this one. What a pretty album so far. It's so soft on the ears. Oh, that glitchy element really coming back strong here. Can be taken literally or figuratively. I think that snow might be a bit of a metaphor there. Fill the mouth with snow. I wish to melt into you. Certainly a metaphor. Very sexually explicit this album is. Such a crunchy sound to this album too, with those glitchy elements. Beautiful LP. Or track, I mean. Also a beautiful LP, but I love that one. Nice crunchy sound to it. I like the way it utilized like snow being stepped on into those glitch pop elements, because it blends right into the instrumental so smoothly that you don't even notice it. An echo, a stain is this next track here. A very like strong atmosphere of this album as well. Very alien-like sounds to this track so far. How she comes up with these compositions, I have no idea, because they're so otherworldly. They don't even feel human. This one's very dialed back. Use a lot more space within it. Certainly feels like an evolution of what Portishead did on their LP Dummy. Ooh. Those strings. Oh my goodness. Very cinematic there. God, this one is maybe the most experimental track so far. The way she like glitched out her vocal there. I like that one. I don't. It was 4 minutes, but didn't feel like it because of how subtly it kind of built on itself. Lots of use of space on it. Lots of detours. Very alien-like. I don't really know what to say about that one other than very avant-garde and experimental above, you know, all the others perhaps. Sun in My Mouth. We're going to continue on here is the next one. Lowest streams. I'm not too... second lowest was the last one. I'm not too surprised though, given its more unique nature. This one's only 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Oh. The strings on here really add up, you know, prettier element. Lots of entering on this album. Lots of fingering too. I like how kind of fluid the sexuality seems on this album. Really playing with the concept. I feel like for 2001, this LP, sonically and thematically, is so ahead of its time. Like even music today doesn't quite grasp the soundscape that is this album. Oh, I like that. Do, 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 do. I like that in the background there. I love that one. That one's beautiful. Just a nice, touching, short, brief track. Quite literally feel like we are entering heaven with some of these tracks here. It's such a just magnificently gorgeous LP. Heirloom is this one here. A little bit more playful and upbeat. Oh boy. Maybe I changed my mind. Not too sure. Got like a steam sound there. Ooh. So it just keeps adding something else. I like this one. It's so much more playful. Very upbeat. Not too sure what that means. Not sure if I want to know what that means. Speaking on, I guess, the love of a mother and being a mother. Maybe that just feeling of purpose in one's life. And that squeaking too. There's a lot going on here. Very feminine album. I'm really digging that. Oh my goodness. Almost like breakbeat as well. Kind of sneaking in there. Such a futuristic sound on this album. Kind of reminds me of like if you took the 90s fast-paced kind of EDM music, but then brought it to a very futuristic sensibility and artsy approach too, not just something repetitive and bland. Beautiful finish, very glitchy. Harm of Will. Just continue right into it. A nice upbeat track there. You know, a little shift in tone. It's much slower. Not sure how I feel about it so far. Really strong strings on this one. The glitch elements are nowhere to be found here. There's a sense of sadness and servitude here, maybe. God, it is so... Oh. So beautiful, that climax there. There's very much a sense of sadness here. Oh, and it's like a brooding, almost danger, maybe? Maybe there's a sense of sadness as a mom, giving away her daughter. I don't know. Perhaps I could be grasping, but maybe he's an abuser. Speaking on the corruption of man. At least that's what I'm gathering here. I like that one, but certainly a sadness to it. Unison, closing it out here, we've got 6 minutes, 45 seconds, the longest track. I love the way this album kind of started off with a kind of embracing of sexuality, and maybe it turns to a brooding side towards the end here. It gets a little bit darker, speaks on the, I guess, harsh realities of being treated as the woman in the relationship. How society views them. Yeah, it almost seems like she started this album off with a sense of love for this man and embracing him, but it's turned twisted and dark. She's now kind of feels like a prisoner, maybe, to the man. Ooh. A nice upbeat focus, though, despite the almost disturbing, sad lyrics, it would seem. And maybe there's a sense of meeting halfway here. A nice laid-back, kind of chill vibe in the instrumental. I like that little laughter you hear there from her. Maybe it's because that humor she's employing in the lyrics here. Some codependency. Maybe she's letting go of that, you know, freedom of being a young woman as she embraces a relationship and matures, perhaps, to this meaningful relationship. If we're going the more optimistic route. Oh. This one really taking every element that the LP has played with, like the glitchy elements, the orchestral elements, the heavenly instruments, all just kind of coming together here. It's a great way to close it out. This is a beautiful track. Here we are with that Ascension I was speaking of. We're really just rising here. An explosion, wall of sound to close out the album. That was a beautiful closer that I think reached the most ethereal point on the album. And let's go the optimistic route and assume maybe this LP is her embracing her womanhood and maturing in this relationship. Compromising her, I guess, freedom of sexuality and kind of young womanhood to embrace the kind of nurturing, loving societal standards of being a mother or lover. But I do like the way it closed out. There was, I think, a sense of optimism more than anything else. Maybe I'm misinterpreting that, but a very beautiful LP. I feel like the overly heavenly sound is perfectly matched with that album cover, because it's quite just a beautiful kind of white cover. Very sexually induced, too, a lot of the lyrics were on this one. And just a good embracement of sounds, concepts, themes, all wrapped up within an hour. Went into every direction. I don't have anything negative to say about this one. I feel like this is like the definitive art pop album. If I had to pick one art pop album I've heard this month that feels like the very concept of what art pop is, it would be this one, because the poppy elements here are super squeaky clean and it feels very poppy, but at the same time it's super experimental and very artistic that it would never reach the mainstream sense of pop. Kind of takes the idea of pop and pushes it to the extremes, similar to how something like hyperpop does, but obviously hyperpop is a very different direction with that sound. But this one here takes it to, I think, the furthest of artistic pop sense that I was kind of hoping for the month. Not that any of the other albums this month haven't reached that. They certainly have. But this is definitely, I think, the ideal art pop album from what I expected going into this month. That being said, just beautiful all around. Really great LP. My first Björk experience. Certainly there will be more. Whether or not I'll do them on the channel remains to be seen, but I do want to cover or listen to more of her albums because she has quite a few. That pretty much does it for the reaction video. If you like this video, please hit like and subscribe to follow along in listening to some more art pop albums. We just have a few more to cover before we close out the month, and then we will be approaching the May genre, which I will keep a secret until we get there. But again, subscribe if you're interested in seeing what that genre will be, or subscribe if you're just interested in album reactions in general. A lot more to cover. Again, I try to do 10 videos per genre every month, so tons and tons of videos coming down the pipeline. So if you are interested in that, if there's a ton of music that you enjoy in every genre, go ahead and subscribe, because we are covering as many genres as we can throughout the year. But as always, my name is Randy Joe, and I'm signing off.